I'm Hui. Welcome to our show.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to our show. This is Michael. Actually, we just finished Clubhouse, and it's like 3 hours, so it's kind of tired over here. But
It's
anyway,
so tired.
yeah, we are very excited to have Ryan come to our show, and he's gonna chatting with us and about the success, what is success, and what is the education and cultural difference between China and U.S. Okay, anyway, let's welcome Ryan. You on, Ryan?
大家好，我是刘莱恩，我现在在一个在西雅图的房产中介。本来我在加州大学学世界经济，也学汉语2年汉语，然后我上了复旦大学，我是一个夏天的学生，然后我上了哥伦比亚大学，我学国际关系，也继续学汉语。然后我毕业以后，我在纽约当一个 Ernst Young Financial Consultant 3年，然后我回来我的家乡西雅图，跟我的姐姐一起买房子。所以我现在到这里给你们说明我的想法，对中美关系在美国的中国人的找工作的机会什么的。
对对。Very good. Very impressive. Thumbs up.
Yeah.
So you have a Chinese exam coming up, right? Are you going to take the exam?
Yes,
Wow.
thank you. I'm actually a few years ago I took the HSK4, but now I'm preparing for the HSK5, and it's more difficult. A lot of words to know.
Yeah, but you did pretty good. I was impressed. I mean, I watched you 2 videos you posted on LinkedIn. It's really really cool. I think you got.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate the support. It's Chinese is very difficult, but like anything, it's hard work and tenacity pays off, and just continuing to work on it.
Yeah. I think you'll get there. It's pretty good.
谢谢你，
牛年快乐. You know what's that? 牛年快乐.
Oh yeah, like happy year of the ox to you.
You see? You got it.
Yeah, great.
牛年快乐。
牛年快乐，大家牛年快乐. Yeah, we are very excited to have you. And then I know our show usually we had Chinese guests come over and introduce how they adjust themselves to American culture. But I think it'll be more interesting that talk to American to see what's their views about Chinese in U.S. and what's their thoughts or the thinking process about success and education and cultural stuff. So we are just trying to look at the subject from a different angle. So that's why we're having you, and we are very excited. So the first question is regarding the success, as I mentioned earlier. So people in China and in U.S., they may have different definitions in success. So in your opinion, what are the difference and why? If you don't mind to share.
No, absolutely. For me, I hope fundamentally that success with both cultures should be defined as simply happiness, right? That whatever you're doing, you're fulfilled, you're happy, you're secure, you're safe, and you have the life you want.
Yes.
And I think the cultures both, parents always teach the kids, always in their viewpoints, and it's always out of love, always out of care. Always the same. We're all humans, right? So it's the same fundamental idea or reasoning, and maybe a slightly different, understanding of how that can be, which is fine because that's why we discuss. We can grow and we can get better and share ideas, which is awesome. I mean, this is a fantastic opportunity. So thank you guys. This is great.
No problem. Yeah.
I would say, simply put, the United States probably would put more emphasis on the individual to determine what happiness or what success means for them. So as Bruce Lee, Li Xiaolong,
Yes.
常常说, self-actualization is kind of the idea of understanding who you are and trying to take every aspect of who you are and become the best that you can be. And so it's more multifaceted and more varied than maybe a traditional, get a really good job and get a high salary. It could really be me like, who do you want to be? Who do you want to become?
Yes.
What do you really love to do? What are your real interests? Do you have a passion to travel? Do you have a passion to, shoot videos?
Yeah.
What's your process for becoming this person? And more importantly, why do you value this? Why do you want to go after this? Is it just to impress someone else? Is it really for you? Is it do you want to get married? Or is having a family and having children part of your goals of who you want to be?
Yeah.
So I would say succinctly, that would kind of be like a general view of the American, perspective of success. But
okay.
For me, I would say what I've noticed when I've been in China or when I've had conversations, or I've even had a few girlfriends that were Chinese in the past as well. And the conversations we have is kind of, it's a lot more, instead of the individual deciding what makes them happy, it's actually more society or more parental saying, hey, we have experience, we know what you need, and don't ignore us. It's very important, so, education, getting a good marriage, getting a stable job, having a good career plan is very, very important to making you happy, making you successful. So in a sense, it's like, I would say a little bit less, stereotyped, a little bit less individual freedom in regard to pursuing what it is you just love to do. But I think it's also, there's a lot of logic and a lot of 很有道理 regarding that.
Yes.
It makes a lot of sense. Yes. Because even if you talk about marriages around the world, America loves the 浪漫的故事, it's like the romantic story.
Yeah.
But if you look at statistics, marriages that are arranged, like in India, have a much higher percentage of like success even. So I think there's a nuanced argument with both perspectives, I think.
Yeah.
And of course, some Americans just love chasing career and money and titles, of course. And I think more and more Chinese are being free and exploring their interests, their hobbies, their loves, what they want to do on the world. And I think that's just a matter of 全球化, just changing,
Yeah, that's interesting because I think I had a lot of friends in US, and when they have been living in US for a while, and then their view to success have been changed. Originally when they grow up in China, the parents put a lot of expectation there. You need to be the scientist, you need to be a doctor or something like that, and then everybody trying to get that. Because they don't want to disappoint, their parents. Sure. And then when they move over, like myself, I was like, I've been scientist for, 6 years in US. Wow. Yeah, they are happy about it. But for me, I was like, it's not what the job I love very much. Wow. So yeah, I just kind of like, I changed a career to still a scientist, but no like, connect with people, like doing people skill more than the technical skill. Awesome. So yeah, I think you're bringing out a very good point. I experienced the change and the difference. I definitely agree with you. Thank you.
Awesome. Oh, thank you, man.
Yeah, thank you. Another question. What are the barriers for Chinese allies in the US to achieve their successful careers?
That's a great question. And actually, I thought about that a lot with my friends, particularly at Columbia University. I met all kinds of Chinese. It's a very high-level university. Lots of Chinese went there. And also, when I was working at EY, I encountered a lot of people whose first jobs, were in management consulting or accounting. And so it kind of gave me some good background to kind of see who was successful and see who wasn't so successful. And I think for me, it's pretty obvious. The key element of success, I think, is being comfortable with the linguistic differences, English, of course, the cultural differences, the high level ones that are obvious and maybe more subtle ones, and just kind of the social aspects in the culture of how people talk, how they work together, how they communicate. Like at Columbia, I knew a lot of what you call fu or dai, right? Like
yes.
Generation, they came, and you could tell them a mile away. You're like, wow, that's a fu or dai. That's a fu. You just tell, you totally tell. 他们的态度不一样，他们的衣服不一样。And I don't know how they got into Columbia, because often they couldn't talk with people very well. They couldn't work together very well. Most people I know didn't want to work with them, didn't want to talk to them, right?
Okay.
So this was a problem. But I knew a lot of the more, I guess, just normal Chinese. They were absolutely fantastic. And the most successful ones I found were the ones that were really open and brave. They wanted to talk to foreigners. They wanted to try new foods. They wanted to go to a movie and go to a party that no Chinese were there except them. These are the ones that achieve the most success, I think. And so something that would hold them back is maybe just being a bit, everyone's shy. We're all shy. Okay. We have to get over it, but really push yourself to like not only hang out with Chinese friends, or not only watch Chinese films, or not only eat Chinese food. Really push yourself out and say, hey, I'm in America, man. I should make some American friends, maybe date an American girl, a boy, whatever, I should try to expand my horizon and really understand what the cultural differences are, but also some of my most successful friends are Chinese in the US. Okay. And these are the ones that typically, they're some of the most humble people, because they're willing to learn. They say, hey, I want to learn, bring everything in, whatever comes, I want to get better at. I want to take in American TV shows. I want to know American culture. I want to watch and see how you talk. And they're generally the most open-minded and more willing to be in unusual environments. So it's not the most obvious skill for everyone. Not everyone. I'm not good at it. It's hard to do. But as you have to force yourself to grow in these kind of environments, I think.
Yeah. This is the open-minded is very important. Otherwise, it's gonna be you just lock yourself, in those tiny rooms, still eat Chinese food, watching Chinese movies.
Why you come to America?
And then still, you only have friends on WeChat. That's no other stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I think most of the Chinese students, they are. Not everyone, but I think most of them are pretty open, like to embrace the new culture, the new environments, and then at least you need to try it, right?
Right.
Yeah, I know that some Chinese students often do together. It's not go to the outside and make the friends with the American students. Yeah, so they say it's a problem in Chinese students. Yeah.
Sure. And I when I was at Fudan Dashue, Americans did the same thing. Of course they did. They just hang out together. Oh, let's go get some hamburgers. What is this? So, I'm like you. I said bye-bye. I would leave, hang out with Chinese people, and just I wanted to immerse myself in the culture and the language and the food. Yeah. And of course, it's difficult at the beginning, but you grow as a person the more you're willing to do this. Which is really what we're trying to do, I think.
Yeah, at least you did try the 小笼包, the dumpling.
It's so delicious.
Oh yeah, 很危险，对吧？让我肚子很胖。对，最喜欢的是上海的小笼，我也喜欢上海的香煎包。
Yeah, it's so delicious.
Oh my goodness, it's salty and crispy, and we have nothing like that here. It's so
I know there's one place in Shanghai because I've been there, and my friend just like, you need to try this. But when I went there, it was like the line was like a mile long. I was like, no, really? I'm not gonna get that today.
Was it Xiaoyang? 哪一个?
I don't remember the name, but it's like a few years back. But because I didn't have it. If I have it, I take pictures, post it on WeChat. I remember it. So I think if you Baidu or Google it, you'll find it the most famous. Just like when you go to Beijing, you need to try the 全聚德, the roasted duck.
Yeah.
是什么?
It's a duck.
烤鸭.
哦，我们都是叫北京烤鸭。
Yes,
yeah.
yes. So yeah, when you go to Shanghai, it's the 小笼包，but Beijing is 烤鸭。
我有一次我在北京，我的司机开车到一个普通的餐馆，就是他说你喝完了，你算北京人，还是我说这是什么？是豆汁儿。
豆汁儿
Yeah.
Oh my god! Wow! 没关系，我喝完了。我说我是北京人。
Yeah, I've been living Beijing 5 years. I only tried a few times. It's just like not my cup piece of cake, but I did try it. I'm a Beijing 人。
Exactly. Try it once. Just try everything once. You don't like it, no problem. It's fine. But try it once. You know, you never know. You might fall in love with it somehow.
Yeah. I think Hui also lived in Beijing for a few years.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. But I didn't try the 豆汁儿。
Oh, you are not 北京人。
Yeah.
Okay.
Ryan, we are better than her. We are 北京人。
I think so.
Yeah.
It's so brave. It's so brave.
Okay. So let's back. We kind of carry away. Okay. So if those Chinese elites they want to grow their career, what would you suggest them to do, and at least some tips or suggestions for them?
Sure. No, absolutely. It's the same thing that applied to me when I was working at EY and really caring about that. Obviously, hard work is number one. You have to work hard at whatever you're doing. Study hard, work hard, try to improve yourself always. I think there's a famous saying that hard work with opportunity equals luck, right? So you have to work hard and you'll get lucky, And for me, a big thing that I did not like at networking events was fake people. I hated fake people at networking events. So 我的观念就是like try to find, when you go to a networking event, don't say, oh, I have to find a job. I have to find this. That's too much pressure. Maybe just find a connection, find someone to have a beer with, talk about something. If you meet a genuine friend or have a real good conversation, that relationship is really what's going to lead to help with your job later. Meeting 100 people saying, hi, what's your name? Where do you work? Can you help me? It's not going to help anyone. A lot of people say, I don't want, say, I don't want to help this guy. He doesn't want to help me. But if you have a really good conversation, hey, what was your name? Here's my card. Here's your card. Cool, great. And then later you email and you really can have a connection from that. So that was really important for me, for sure. And it's 2021. I mean, almost everyone is online, right? So whether it's LinkedIn, 微信, 脸书, whatever it is you're doing, make sure that you have an online presence and that you're posting regularly something. It doesn't have to be always about your business. It can be about your interests or practicing a skill that you're doing or just trying to reach out to people, because a lot of people look at this stuff, and not only does it give you kind of an interview before an interview, but it allows you to build your skills in various areas, whether it's shooting videos, presentation, all these things are really important, I think. And I think these days, at least in the United States, lifetime employment is not really existing anymore. So many people change jobs every 3 years. So when you get your first job, definitely make relationships as much as you can. Because maybe you stay with the company, but they will not stay with the company. They'll leave somewhere else. I mean, people I work with at EY, I think I maybe know 5 people still work at EY, but people are now at Wells Fargo's, BNP Paribas. They're all at different banks. They're all doing different things. So, try to network in a real way, meet friends and enjoy your work by cultivating relationships as much as you can. And how do you say, like, when you're really trying to grow your career, I think being confident of who you are and being comfortable in that is really important, because so many people can say, oh, I went to a good college. I had a good GPA. I was an intern here. But so much more is like, how do you feel when you're with this person? You know, do I want to work with this person? Do I think he's humble? Is he teachable? Can he get better? So these are indirect ways that you can express yourself during a career and as you try to move up the ladder. So those are kind of like my main takeaways.
Yeah, those are really good points. And then, because like we had an interview with the other guest earlier, and there's just like those kind of mindset, it just need to be changed or open more. Sure. Because if you still stay in the mindset that we were taught in China, and then it may not fit in. Sometimes it may, but I think most of the time may not. Just like those points you brought out earlier is really good points. Like we need to change our mindset to to more open, to more it's not something. Nothing's gonna be forever. It's need to be brave enough to adapt the changes. That's the something we need to do. All right. Thank you very much for this question.
Of course.
Okay. So the next, do you think there is a point to balance the Chinese culture and the American culture? If so, how to do that?
That's an amazing question, a very good question, and I think something that we all think about all the time, right?
Yeah.
Like how do you say? Even companies now are globalized.
Yeah.
We have Huawei, Tencent. Even Seattle has so many Chinese companies.
Yeah.
Big companies and small companies, and 中美关系越来越重要。And 一直继续. It doesn't matter what politics happens, they will be very important together, no matter what. This is a fact. So I think to be competitive in the world, you have to be a good mix of Chinese culture and US culture, because they're going to be the leaders. They're going to be the leaders of what's going on. So you cannot be single-minded that, the US is the best. It's just, I'll be the US style, or China's going to be the yes, or I'll just be Chinese. No, really, there's going to be some intermixing for a long time of what happens, right? So I think the best worker is also going to be kind of international, kind of global in that sense, kind of like both of you guys. Liu Shui, you're living in America, working, understanding the culture, speak both languages, understand the educational systems. You guys are the models of like what the future is going to be. Absolutely.
Thank you for that.
That's just what it is, And the better you are at knowing both languages, both cultures, both histories, both, points, everything, government, ideology, everything, the better you're going to be able to find arbitrage opportunities between both. That, hey, America's weak in this, we can offer this. Well, China's weak in this, we can offer this, So it makes you a more robust contributor for sure. So I would say like even in a company, like the Chinese biggest giveaways for me are like an amazing work ethic, an amazing educational background, an amazing collective mentality of saying, hey, it's important we have an identity, who we are for our country, and we're proud of that and who we are. I think that's awesome. And they're very, how do you say, just industrious and hardworking as hell. Like the hardest working people I know are Chinese, for sure. For sure. No, and they don't complain. Like Americans complain all the time. just always whine, And of course, the United States, the corollary, I would say, the individuality, the self-actualization, the trying to be original, be flexible, be interpersonal, being able to really communicate and express your opinion and influence others and make friends with people. And that emotional intelligence, I think, is the real key that combined is really going to make a future worker very, very irreplaceable, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, it just like, it's the trend to just globalize. Everything is international. Like U.S. is a good model for immigrants, like different culture, different races all come together. I mean, this is the place to embrace the diversity. Like everything. You could have your own stuff, but it definitely that's a melting point for multiple cultures, and that's the country, right?
Absolutely. No, I'm with you on that. Absolutely. It's and just going back to like you guys, like I think you guys are the front runners of what the future worker is going to be like, you know, the globalized citizen. I mean, even in companies, like you're in Texas, I'm in Seattle. Many teams at big companies have someone in India, England, America, Hong Kong, Shanghai. And if you can't all get along and be comfortable, that's going to be a problem, right? So the more homogenous and more flexible you are, I mean, that's you guys. That's it right there.
Yeah, I mean, you do the same. You are pretty good, you know, speak Chinese and you know a lot about Chinese culture. You're international as well.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. And I like the painting in your background. It's really cool. I think it's a Chinese painting, right?
It is. Thank you. It's the I got it from a previous client in real estate, and they're the Four Seasons. I'm not sure if they're a famous poem, but there's like, you know, calligraphy. 中文字很漂亮的。
Yeah. 春夏秋冬。
Oh, is that what it's called?
春 is spring, 夏 is summer, 秋 is fall, and 冬 is winter. I think this 4 seasons, right? It may have represent like flower each season. Do you know Hui? What's the for spring the flower? I don't know.
Spring 梅no 梅花。
I think spring 春 should be 桃花, right?
Yeah. 桃花 right.
桃花。
桃花。It's a winter. It's a 梅花。
Yeah.
Winter. Yeah.
梅花 no flower. 梅花。
yeah. No flower. You're right.
It's different character. It's pronounced the same.
Chinese is so hard, man. It's so hard.
Yeah, if you like that, it's like 梅花鹿. There's no 花鹿. It's like no.
Without anything.
梅花鹿 is like the deer has the pattern like that flower. They call 梅花鹿. So.
Like 鹿肉, like deer meat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, so let's move on to another topic. We have been talking about success and career, and now let's say the education. Because a lot of Chinese, they would prefer to stay in the U.S. because you know they want their kids to go to school here, which maybe that you know is much less stressful than that in China.
Right.
And what do you think about the difference, you know, in education between these two countries?
You know, I mean, there's so much to say about that. You know, the Chinese education system is thousands of years old. You know, so there's some merit and some good aspects for sure. I would say it's no surprise to the world that in every year standardized examinations for like math and science and technology, China's amongst the top, very top. You know, so amazing foundation educational system. I mean, I think I told you I dated a Shanghainese girl for a little bit, and we're talking about math, and I'm doing like, I don't know, I was in college and I think I was doing like multivariable calculus, and I was having some issues, and she goes, "Why don't you know how to do this?" And I said, "I never taken it." She goes, "We studied this in 7th grade. What's wrong with you?" And I say, "Oh my God, really?" I mean, so it's amazing. So the standard level education for everyone is so high. It's really amazing. Not to mention, I mean, you guys know English too. I mean, Americans don't know any foreign language. You know, we pick something stupid like French or something. You know, like,
maybe
no
Spanish.
one speaks French. Yeah, or Spanish. You know, it's so it's kind of silly. You know, but how do you say? I mean, there's some obvious, you know, how do you say, differences between the two systems. So the U.S. in fundamental courses is definitely lacking in terms of standardized testing results. That's obvious, and that's obviously something you would like to improve. But their emphasis is, of course, more on you know, like, you know, find something you're interested in. You know, so if you want to try music, do music. If you want to do art, do art. If you want to like even in America, if you want to graduate high school early and go to a 社区大学,
community college. Okay.
Yeah, community college, exactly. Or if you wanted to say, 我不要上大学, 我要上a trade school. I want to be an electrician or a plumber. You know, that's okay. You know, you can do that if you really want to. So, I mean, there's kind of different routes. And of course, you know, in the Chinese educational system, there's one major path to college, you know, and that's the Gaokao.
Yeah, Gaokao, yes.
And that is severe, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I've never I guess you guys have taken it.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's the most important exam in my life so far.
Right? It's crazy. It's we have nothing like that. We have nothing like that. Like if you do bad on the Gaokao, you think, oh, I go to a bad college, I get a bad job, my future's bad, right? Mm-hmm. Like it's a lot of pressure. It's crazy. And that is, I mean, that's a whole different conversation, but that's intense. That's very difficult. And it makes you guys tough as hell. You guys are so strong. Every one of you guys. And we have, you know, relatively more freedom when it comes to post-high school education. So like I said, you can go to, like for me, I went to community college for 2 years, saved a lot of money. The coursework was actually really hard. Then I went from community college to State University in California, and then I went to Columbia. So you could go from the bottom to the top. You can go everywhere, no problem.
Yeah.
And also the college isn't that big of a determinant of your future success. Yeah. So if you go to a state university, you know, Texas A&M, you know, not the best school in the world, but you get a good degree, but you're good at working and you work really hard, you can be a CEO, no problem. It's okay. Yeah. Society doesn't care that much about the name so much. You know, it's not as impactful. So, and also actually in terms of academic researchers, the people that test, like China always tests very good at the young kids' age, but actually America tends to do better when it comes to college and master's degrees. So actually America goes really bad, but then they do okay in college. So it kind of comes up. So So it's hard to say. I mean, I certainly understand the great aspects of Chinese education, but I definitely enjoy not having the Gaokao and some of the flexibility that the American education system provides.
Yeah, I mean, I think another reason probably is related to the population. I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah, in China, it's like too many people. I mean, I don't say it's bad, but it just...
Oh, no, sure.
Yeah, it's the way they have those education system trying to, you know, bring up the average education, you know, knowledge, skill for everyone. But yeah, I agree, because Hui and I would, you know, been to the Gaokao. It's just like, you know, way stressful. It's just like you are going to interview, you know, in Google or Apple, but you only have one chance. And then if you want the second chance, you need to be, you know, go like we call fudu. You go to the 12th grade again, and then learn another year, and then try again.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So once you try again, then you already had the attack on yourself. Like this guy is the second comer, you know.
My goodness, so a lot of pressure.
It's way more pressure. So
God.
I think I would agree with people, you know, want to stay here, trying to let their kids, you know, enjoy their childhood, happy times, you know, more than in China. I mean, we don't need to compare, you know, we just look at WeChat, and a lot of my friends in the group chat, they just every day they're busy with kids' homework, and for us, we still have time, you know, to do the backyard. We do something else, but everything their focus is the kids' homework. So it's sad, you know.
It's so bad. It's so heavy hard work in the young children in China.
Wow.
Yeah, they are put a lot of pressure on that. Anyway, let's take a 1 minute break. I know you've been talking. We've been talking 30 minutes, more than 30 minutes. And let's take a 1 minute break, and then we will come back. Is that okay, Ryan?
Okay. Yep, perfect.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Okay. Wow, that time went by fast. You're right. You're right.
Okay, let me switch back. Okay, we're back. Thank you again. We're back. Ryan's back, and then we continue our interview. It was fun talking to you. It's just like talking to my friend in China.
I've enjoyed it very much. It's been great. Very good.
And then the most important, we are better than Hui. We are Beijing.
That's true.
Yeah, we try to 斗智.
Yeah. When we come back Beijing, I will try the 斗智.
I hope so.
And then you need to record a video to prove that. Otherwise, we don't trust you.
I will send picture for you and for Michael.
Yeah. About the education, I just want to clarify that. As I mentioned that that our friends are busy with their kids' homework. I don't mean to say something. They suck. We good.
Oh,
no. We just want to state the fact that that's different system, and like you mentioned earlier, I just had different focus on the education results, the outcome, what they're looking for, and
Sure.
there's a different style. I will take it back if somebody feel that we're just trying to joking around, not serious, like trying to point fingers to anybody. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, let's continue. Hui, go ahead, please.
Okay. The next question. So what shall Chinese graduate students learn other than accurate knowledge before they go job hunting?
No, that's a great point that I wish I had thought about more. Focusing on academics is important in your graduate studies, but of course the point is to hunt for jobs. Mostly, it's to find a good job. So, I'd say the most important thing is really trying to be honest and search your soul about. I mean, you don't know everything and what all the jobs are, but do your best to try to understand what kind of job you would like to get. Do you want something research? Do you want something that you work with people? Do you want to be an accountant and work by yourself? Do you want to work from home? Do you need to be interacting with people?
Yeah.
This is super important, because so many people I know get a job for the name or for the image, and in 6 years they're depressed and they're not happy, and then they switch jobs and it's a problem. So be honest with yourself and go on LinkedIn and ask people, hey, can I buy you coffee? Can we get a beer? Let's talk about your job. Do you mind? And most people are happy to talk to you, no problem. They say, hey, thank you for reaching out. I'll give you 10 minutes. Let's have a call. No problem. And try to get some experience, try to find people that you like and learn about what they think about their job. That's super important. And for Americans as well as Chinese, you have to, once you decide kind of the job or industry you want to be in, job title, definitely familiar yourself with the salary requirements for that position. Do all that you can. So you can go to Reddit, Reddit's the famous website, or glassdoor.com is another one. And do your research to know what you are worth. Because, I mean, I know many people who are Chinese who have come in and gotten lower salaries because maybe they need H-1B visa or they really need a job. And so they say, okay, I'll accept, no problem. And it's not good. You got to be able to fight for what your value is and be able to argue that as well. So that's super important. And I would say public speaking and interview skills are super, super important.
Yeah.
So maybe you can join a club called Toastmasters, and that's
Toastmaster.
a public speaking club. Yeah, that's super good. Very, very low stress. A lot of people like you that want to get better at speaking, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. Have you guys heard of it?
Yeah, I think I watched the comedy center. They had a kind of like roasted somebody like celebrity or something. Yeah, something like that. I guess similar maybe.
Yo, it's very similar. Yeah, everyone it's kind of like an informal social club, and you can find it according to city. And it's just people like you that want to get better at presentation and public speaking. And this is important for your interview. This is important to be promoted. This is important for so many things. So if definitely prepare for that in your graduate studies so that you can be comfortable talking, expressing your ideas and stuff like this. And of course, how do you say it's, I think I was going to say, like, know the basic formalities too. Know how to look people in the eye without, you know, going like this and talking like this or being like this. You know, that's crazy. You know, you understand the flow. You know, you got to know how to shake someone's hand, look them in the eye, be comfortable. It sounds stupid, but I had to practice. I have to practice. You know, you have to practice. It's really good to do. Face a mirror, do practice like this. And it sounds silly, but really,
I think
and value yourself before you go to interviews.
Okay.
That's right.
Oh, that's all.
I'm back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's how to, of course, also know how to get a suit. Know how to wear a 西装. You know how to look
like this.
Yeah, you look great. 帅哥,不错. It's very nice.
不错. Yeah.
I like it. I like the tie. That's nice.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, so that's really important to do, and know your value. I mean, you're selling your experience, you're selling your time, you're selling your education, your language, your skills. So don't let them bully you. Don't feel insecure. Practice saying, no, I'm selling my work and it's worth money, and understand that and be comfortable with arguing. 讨价还价. Be very comfortable. I think it's really important. And those are kind of my takeaways for graduate school preparation.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, it is, you know, exactly same thing we talked about in the clubhouse earlier. It just you know, your point is basically is the we had a senior HR there. She brought up the exactly same points. It's just like, you know, imagine you are a perfect product, then you're trying to sell it to the employer. Then what would you do? That's basically what you say. Yeah. That's a really good point. Yeah. So if you are a hiring manager, why not you will hire a Chinese applicants? Do you have more specific reason to do so or not to do so?
That's a great question. And hopefully this will be helpful to make and help Chinese people defend their value more, because that's really important, you know. But I would say from hiring managers that I know, a lot of time people go to Chinese candidates because they're exceptionally good at hard skills, you know, accounting, computer programming, Excel, coding, things like this. They're some of the best that you can buy, some of the absolute best. Generally, they're considered to have kind of a better work ethic, you know, stable worker, work hard, don't complain, don't fight with boss. And I would say, I'm kind of embarrassed to tell you this, but they're almost more responsible too. I know Americans that have a bad fight with their girlfriend and don't come to work. You know, they drink too much the night before and they come in late and very drunk, you know. And these are very embarrassing, but Chinese do not have this reputation. You know, they're known to be good on time, and they're very dependable and work very hard. And so maybe just less problems at work generally when it comes to behavior and responsibility. But also a bad reason, I think, to hire a Chinese is many times hiring managers know the visa situation that they're in.
Oh, yeah. The visa, yes.
Yeah.
That's the most important,
Right. Yeah. So they will say, okay, I like your skills, but I'll pay you a little bit less. So this is a reason many people hire Chinese too, which is a really good value for small cost, you know? So from a hiring perspective, it makes sense. But for a Chinese applicant perspective, just know your value, you know, your value. Don't let someone treat you that way. That's bullshit. Excuse me. You know, that's not nice.
Fine. We are not for kids, so it's fine.
Okay, good. Yeah. Be tough about that for sure. And in terms of hiring an American, I would say mostly it's the obvious qualifications. You know, his fluency with English. You know, reading, spoken, writing. You know, understanding basic cultural forms with like writing emails and how to conduct yourself in an interview, something like this. for instance, maybe if I was going to hire someone to represent the firm to go to another firm, I want someone that speaks English, that is 自信, very confident, looks good.
自信,
And usually it's going to be an American that knows the culture, typically, you know, but hopefully after they watch this podcast, the Chinese will be this person too.
That's our goal.
That's it right there. And just being more individual, maybe being able to, instead of always having to have directions, produce this, they can take maybe some more leadership and be original and say, well, I thought I should do it this way because this. So I did this, you know? So there's some of the cultural nuances that I'd say Americans are more used to being expected to perform. So I would say that's really it. I mean, aside from those reasons, I have no problem. I'd hire a Chinese person for sure.
Thank you for that. This is really insightful, you know, for another different angle to look at this question, because we got a lot of questions like, oh, what if they, you know, they just don't like Chinese applicants? But from your answers is pretty, you know, that's like more to look at it. It does have some concerns, but it's not a really, you know, an area or a race issue. It's just something in their mind. Maybe they had different, you know, limits or different ideas how to run the company or something like that.
Absolutely.
I just had a little question, like if a Chinese employee work for a company and most of the employees are American, then the Chinese just like, okay, how do I fit in these, you know, corporate cultures? And then especially when they talk their stuff like football, I had no idea. And then what would they do like in that situation? What would the Chinese employer do? And does he need to kind of adjust himself to trying to fit in, or is what is the mindset as starting point for him?
Oh, it's a great idea. It's a great thought. And for me, I would say it's a general mindset to approaching any time in your life where you're not really in the majority, you know. And it's I think it comes down to, first of all, interpersonal skills. You know, can you talk to someone and make them feel comfortable? Hey, how are you? Do you have a girlfriend? You know, where do you live? You know, and just making someone feel comfortable in talking, you know, because I don't like football at all, and I'm American, you know, I don't at all. I don't know. But I mean, but some people, you know, they want to talk about TV shows, or they talk about yoshi, like video games, you know, or basketball, or working out, you know, whatever it is they want to do. Finding a common tongdian with someone is really important for establishing that trust, you know. And I mean, maybe you know, you be proactive with it. Talk to them, you know. Make the American talk, you know. Hey, what are you doing? You know, oh my God, you know, like it might be a good thing, you know. Just get out there and do it. And of course, I would say if you have no other method, then maybe watch some football games, go on Reddit and learn about football, you know, something like this, and just being able to interject. But I mean, most Americans know fundamentally that, of course, a lot of us look very white. We're all white, but we're all one or two generations of immigrants. You know, I'm not from here. 2 generations ago, I'm from Sweden. You know, not
Sweden.
from here.
Okay.
Sweden, in Germany. So if you look around, there's so many Asians, there's so many you know, South Americans, there's so many Europeans, there's Africans, there's black, white, yellow, brown, green, every color here, you know. So if you find a company that it's all white people, that's kind of scary, you know? Especially nowadays. There's some of the best engineers in the world are Indian, are Chinese, or Korean. And it's you just see so much more diversity in the workplace. So if they have a problem, tell them to talk to me and we'll figure it out.
That's a good point. I think somebody mentioned that there's a rule called FORD, FORD, like you can talk about family, occupation, recreation, and dream. So that's somebody's rule. Like, I mean, this is good to remember. Ford, is it just a vehicle?
No, it's great.
I mean, and then Yeah, that's good to easy to memorize. So last question. I think we just keep talking.
So much fun. It's good. I enjoy.
Yeah, the last question. So somebody say if if the Chinese employer he a lot of times they are shy. They are not willing to open up either to the coworker or to the management or to the supervisor or anything. They just do things quietly and then send you the report, something like that.
Right.
And then do you think for this kind of personality, is it need to be changed? Like you need to be more kind of like trying to learn how to get yourself credits or how to do more communication with the supervisor and just kind of open up a little bit, or it's okay for them to just keep like that?
It's a great point. I would say, I mean, I've heard the saying in Chinese culture, if there's a nail, like many nails, and one nail sticks out, it gets hammered, right? So
yes.
Right?
Yes.
In America can sometimes go way too much the other side. Too much. And in American culture, if you always talk in the meeting, always the best, always want to talk, everyone hates you. No one likes you. Like everyone hates you. So it's similar, but I would say in general, even if you're doing something like accounting, some of the skills, of course, skills are doing the work good, doing it fast, doing it carefully, and doing it well. But of course, there's skills that are soft skills, interpersonal skills, and if you're going to look for promotion, if you want to get up, you always change from producing to managing, always.
Okay.
And the managing skills are really soft skills. It's I'm your manager. I don't beat you up. I help you produce. What can I do for you? How can I help you? I'm on your team. And this is a good manager. So if your goal is to be a manager, then I would say, yes, definitely try to become more comfortable talking about what you think, what you feel. How to encourage people, how to make people feel comfortable, how to start a conversation with someone and just say, hey, how was your weekend? What's going on? And it takes time. It's not easy. And sometimes you have to fake it until you make it, for sure, sometimes. But I think it's like, we're just humans, we always want to develop and get better over time in all of our weaknesses. And for me, I think I would like the ability to talk to people. To be better and comfortable. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. I would say the most important thing is doing your work well, and that will make you recognized, for sure. Do your work well. And then secondarily, think about how you can be more social, how you can, because, you're going to need to go to, happy hours and meetings and you have to do this. It's part of management. So, I would say expect it as part of your job, but 慢慢技术, just go slow.
That's great. Yeah, that's very helpful. So I think the old saying you mentioned, the nail, the hammer. What is the word? 枪打出头鸟? Is it? Like all the birds is hiding, and then there's one bird just picking up, and then the machine gun just shoot it. This 枪打出头鸟.
Yeah, it's right. It's correct.
枪打
出头鸟.
出头鸟 means you pick it out and then there's
right.
Yeah, I think that's pretty common in Chinese culture. It's just like it's too humble. They don't want to say something.
In China, all of people humble and
low key.
It's not
right.
Too low key.
And sometimes in America, everyone try to be super the best, and they're not the best, and it's very bad. So what the whole theme of our topic is, it's not one way or the other, but the wisdom to be between. And that's really the secret to be better, as Bruce Lee always said, absorb what is useful and reject what is useless.
Like Tai Chi,
let it go.
Yeah. Hey, Ryan. We really enjoyed talking to you. I think if you like, we can schedule another interview with you because really, really fun
Sure.
talking to you. Do you want to
Likewise.
do a closing in Chinese?
Oh God, yeah, I guess I could. Yeah, sure, sure.
No pressure. No pressure.
No.
We just audience.
不好意思，我的中文还差，我还没准备好。可是我很享受跟你们题目这样的讨论这样的题目，所以客人我们都告诉你谢谢你给我们你们的主意，听我们的想法，我希望可以帮助你们的将来的看法。
Wow, that's really good. You didn't prepare anything. Then you just speak your mind.
Just throw words out. It's all right.
But yeah, honestly, yes, it is really good. I mean, I completely understand every sentence. It is really good.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah,
you're getting better, right? We need to hang out more often. Hey, if you like, we can join Clubhouse, and then you can learn Chinese. We can learn English.
Hey, that's a great idea. I think we should talk about that for sure. Thank you. Thank you
All
for
right.
the affirmation.
Yeah, Hui, you had another question?
No.
No, we good. All right, and again, thank you, Ryan. It's Saturday. I know you reschedule everything for this. We really appreciate that. And then
My pleasure.
we would like to have you another time. We just need to figure out a topic, then we can talk. But most of the topic I think we can cover, but we just want to have something related to the show, to the career.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if otherwise we can talk like Chinese food,
Everything.
American food, like all the time. That'll be a lot of fun.
Hey,
But-
that'd be interesting to people as well, I'm sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much for your time, and then we hope maybe we will see again on Zoom, or maybe after this you can come over to Austin. We can to Seattle. We can have the real talk show someday.
That
Again.
would be great.
Yeah. Thank you for your time. We'll keep in touch. Good night.
All right. Thank you, Michael.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Brett.
Bye bye.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Bye.